Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day one still. We're going to be hitting the upper abs, obviously on our Triggerpoint guide. So upper abs, this is leading from the pec major we hit, the pec minor, the major, and the upper pec. Just the whole pec, it's pretty darn tight. Basically this trifecta right here. But like I said, with any of these muscles, explore what's tender. I'm just giving you a guideline, and you're just going to be your own specialist. You're going to explore what's really tight on you, and you can kind of follow the fascial patterns, and really see where you're restricted, what's really locking you up. So with the upper abs, why are we hitting them? They are the tightest portion of the abdominals. The lower abs are usually generally very weak because we do this. They're very overly stretched, very inactive. A lot of people lean far forward. A lot of people anterior pelvic tilt, anterior pelvic lean, that's what that's called. And so what we want to do is lean back on our heels. We want to tuck our butt, and that's going to engage our lower abs while you suck your tummy in. That's very important because a lot of people don't realize you're supposed to be sucking your tummy in all day. That's your true abdominal engagements. It's called your TVA, your transverse abdominis. But a lot of people are so hung up on vanity and engaging your rectus abdominis, which is this frontal line here, the six pack. That's great, but if you want to feel good, perform well, and look good, you're going to want to train the TVA. That's what's in style, I guess we'll call it. So the upper abs get super tight. There's two parts of the upper abs though, real quick. You don't really want to go in the middle. That's, I think it's called the linea alba. You want to stay more alongside. There's two parts, right? Left and right. So right there, very top portion under the ribs. You can hit the left upper obliques a little bit as well. That's what we're going to be hitting too. Explore what's most tight on you, but you can also go on the ribs a little bit. Just remember, with anything on bone, mainly the ribs and the sternum, around the sternum, go very gentle. Maybe use a lacrosse ball, don't put a ton of pressure in it, or maybe just use a Theracane and explore between the ribs. Because honestly, we're supposed to have a lot more expansion, a lot more space between our ribs. But the problem is we become so compressed from powerlifting, from backpacks, from day one, from school, and from studying, you name it. So many factors that we go into obviously on our foundational fitness program. But without further ado, upper abs, what I like to start with is you can lay down. I'm going to show you two parts how to do that, or you can stand up, get into a posture hold. So sit back on your heels, feet are going to be straight. You're going to pinch the ground gently, just engaging those adductors a little bit. Tucking the butt, making sure that pelvis is neutral. The thing is, we always want a neutral level collarbone, a neutral level pelvis. A lot of people are right here, here, or here. Think of this and this as a bucket of water, and we don't want that spilling out. We just want it nice and level. So level pelvis, sucking that tummy in. Level collarbone. We're going to take this Theracane. We're going to try to get as much expansion as possible in these abs. I don't mean to be a douchebag, but what we're trying to do is this rib cage here, there's a couple things happening. It's being pulled down and it's being pulled in like this, which is what creates that hump and that T-spine and the thoracic spine in the back. So we actually want to come out like this, and in order to do that, you got to get as deep as you can under those ribs with a Theracane preferably. And that's what's going to start unlocking. The problem is though, the most calcified areas of the body you are not going to be able to access, but we're trying to do the best we can obviously. And you will see dramatic results when you do this correctly. So suck the tummy in, like I said, sit on the heels, chest up nice and tall, collarbone is level, pelvis is level. You're gently engaging your glutes, your adductors, sucking that tummy in hard, right? And that's going to help expose that rib cage a little bit more. So I'm on the upper abs, right under the rib cage, right here. Take this, and this is my right side, guys. This is what I recommend starting with. That's your liver. You can imagine your liver gets super compressed. I'm sweating already. It's very painful, but I'm just going to push in. Start gentle if you need to. Gently apply pressure, deep. You're not going to go to the bone, obviously, because that's going to be the back of your ribs. That's not going to happen. You'll be going through the organs. And you're just sucking the tummy in while you breathe into the Theracane. Remember, don't forget that cue. Sucking in while you breathe into the Theracane. What does that mean? I'm pulling in. I'm not breathing in like that. A lot of people teach you to breathe like that. I don't want you to do that. I want you to suck in, push, and breathe into that ball or that Theracane like that. So watch this. And we're not trying to neck breathe. A lot of people neck breathe. A lot of people breathe down here. No, we're trying to breathe into this. You can go a little bit more to the outside of the ribs. I like to do that, kind of go underneath the rib cage like that. See that? Oh, my stomach's now making some noise. You're gonna move some things around, guys. That's good. There's a lot of restriction in your GI tract. There's a lot of restriction in your organs. That's a lot of stress in your body. Not to mention your nervous system, which is in your spine. We'll go into that in a little bit more detail. This is incredible amounts of pain, but it's good. It's dull. It's not too sharp. It's going to the back of my back. Try to maintain that tummy sucked in. Still breathing into that theracane. Slow 2 to 6 breaths per minute. 3 to 10 minute holds. I say 1 minute here, maybe go up an inch if it's really bad. Try to find what's most tender, what's most restricted. Make sure that pain radiates back or outwards. You get the idea? Whew. You will feel a huge stress relief. I was definitely under some stress while I was doing that, but that's a good stress because you're re-engaging your T-spine from the back while you're trigger pointing and rehydrating that incredibly dry, incredibly restricted fascia on the upper abs. It's probably one of the most restricted areas of the human body, besides the pelvis, obviously. So the ball, I like to use a softball. You can use a lacrosse ball on a book elevated. I'm gonna show you real quick how to do that with the upper abs. Just lay down. Once again, get close to the rib cage. Just sit into it. Now the thing is, you're probably not gonna be able to lay down all the way. Now, I don't really want you guys to engage your lower back too much. Make sure you're not arching your lower back too much. Make sure you're not cocking your neck up too much. Try to maintain a neutral spine as much as you can. More importantly, try not to stress your posture, or rather compromise your posture. Lay into it. Oh my goodness, I can't even lay into this. I clearly have not been doing my upper abs. Side to side, find what's most tender. And just lay into that. Suck the tummy in still. Now you're going to really try to breathe into that ball. And I recommend doing both techniques, the ball and the theracane, maybe splitting it up, because both are a little bit different. You can go on the edge of the rib cage with this as well. A little bit more in the obliques. I can't really talk with this one. You guys get the idea. Sink into it as much as you can, but if you need to back off, that's okay. Side to side once again. Go as high as you can. If that's not that tender, maybe go down a little bit lower towards the middle abs. You don't really want to go too much towards the middle. If it's worse though, spend some time on it. No big deal. And mine is actually a little bit more tender down there, so I'm surprised. Tuck the butt, make sure the lower back's not arching too much like that. Tuck the butt a little bit more. And what I like to do is kind of push through my elbows and extend, almost stretch my rib cage a little bit and expose more angles of that upper ab area, that upper super restricted abdominal area. Whew. All right, guys, you get the idea? Theracane or softball, if you need to use a lacrosse ball on a elevated surface. I recommend using the boomstick. I actually got it right there. Pan on that real quick. That's from Kabuki Strength. I didn't mean to put that under the chair, but that's actually an incredible tool to lay down. If you want to lay down with the Theracane, I'll show you real quick. Or the boomstick. Same thing. Get that lower back nice and flat, chest up nice and tall. You can do the same thing. This is very intense as well. And once again, I like the Theracane for a different reason, because it allows me to really explore deep under the ribs where it might be even more restricted, where the softball cannot access. Use both. I really like this tool. Both of them are really good. And plus you can take it anywhere. All right, guys, this is still day one. We got soleus for the next one, and I'll see you next video.